the first to know Nsem-Pii TV.
For Nsem-Miracle's Aboagye, the communications director for Dr. Alhaji Bawumia, the campaign team. Now, in fact, and then or the Nsem-Pii Alberto Aponoso, Ewa Brana or Kasa Edifa, NPP, incoming primary researcher say, in fact, Adani Attåcking attacks I binom air called Dr. Alhaji Bawumia as well. And what I say, Sa primary CIA is about vision, any or track records, and yet Attåcking. Into more masterty, now Dr. Bawumia Attåcking. Or see, in fact, it doesn't make sense. Or no, and a casa in some now, and then some or cano or casafa, yes, our tribal politics are a binum our monum Eddie Dr. Bawumia, Eddie air attacking, and now person with the gun hufino. And some or cano, F.A. Dr. Bryn Acheampong, now saying no all transit be as a or make ye. Now, in fact, if you know to say or need Dr. Bawumia and I'm panso or kind was it Dr. Bawumia because of your man Pusini and Nunti Anna Kusasi for Antwabano and Farmer NPP Amenyukuru and Nunti Anna Emma Boko and an important ho NPP for Elusu Sita Ewinano. Now and then Nsem-Miracle's Aboagye, I was soon we Eddie Achere a Dr. Bryn Acheampong and a Kennedy accomplished con Agyapong because what is the here from these two camps, another Biamo attacking a Dr. Alhaji Bawumia. But Nsem-Miracle's Aboagye SCDA say, Namibwa or China, a year 28th August 2025, Dr. Alhaji Bawumia, Edeko Akofile, a year in the nomination forms, a year 8 o'clock or party headquarters. Then, in fact, NTA and some of Nsem-Miracle's Aboagye, Edigu Aponoso.
I think that we were all witnesses to the conference. And there were specific decisions that were taken at the conference. So there were some amendments to the constitution and the implementation for each of the amendments or the timelines for implementation of each of the amendments were also determined. So there are some that are going to be activated at certain periods and then others are also being implemented now. And so what you saw yesterday from the General Secretary was one of the amendments that are supposed to be implemented now. Ahead of January 31st. So that's basically what has kicked off. And by tomorrow close of day also, we should have all the aspirants who actually want to contest who have filed their nomination.
Oh, the deadline is tomorrow?
Yes. So Dr. Bawumia will be filing tomorrow at 8 a.m. At the party headquarters.
Right.
And after the filing, he would then make an official declaration. And then we'll take off from there. So yeah, I think we're on track. Of course, the only thing I would say is an admonition to all our party people across the country. It's a worry. It's been of great concern to some of us. The manner in which some are actually conducting themselves in this elections. I mean, one can understand that it's a competition. But I believe that there are more decent ways to compete and make your case than to sort to bring down your opponents in the eyes of your competitors. I think that is where the biggest challenge is. And so I would continue to urge all of us to be a bit more measured with some of the things that we do. The objective may be to malign someone in order to get an advantage, but it would have caused a lot of harm to the party than what you think. Because once you malign, there will be counter reaction, and once that counter reaction comes in, it may be equal measure or even more. I always tell people that if you come attacking me, don't try to determine how I respond. You understand? You may push me with one finger, but if I decide to retaliate, I'll come with all five. And then you say, oh, but I pushed you with one finger. I mean, I was minding my business.
Yeah.
I didn't ask you to push me with one finger. So I really, really plead with all our people to be measured. You know, our opponents, they never mean well for us. They never wish any good for us. None, zero. Zero. Don't let any NDC person deceive you. They don't mean well for MPP at all. They wish we are no longer existing. They wish we are no longer part of the national discourse. And so they're always excited when they see us. So they always have a certain way of fueling. They will say, they will drop in keys to fuel whatever it is that will be. But I think that yes, democracy is good. Speak your mind, forcefully push the interest of your candidates, but let it be decent, especially when you cite, these guys. They pick on these things, and then you hear the things you will say. We hear.
Are you preempting or?
Oh, I know them. You hear the way.
Or maybe we should send you to Elvis. You have a prophecy.
You hear. You hear. Where is here? You hear the things you say because they are excited. One of the things they enjoy is to wake up in the morning and see an MPP person through, some missile at they will be excited. You see them sharing, they're excited.
Yeah, if you play to their turf, why not?
Yes, and you know what they will do. They'll come and say they should stop these things. It's not good for. It is even worse than if they are coming across. So I beg my MPP people, please again. The conversation should be about why Dr. Bawumia. Like I have always said, I don't even engage and even mention the name of our opponent. I don't think it's needed. If I'm asked about my opponent, I'll throw it somewhere. I believe that Dr. Bawumia is the best candidate to lead the MPP into the elections because we have barely 1,207 days into an election. And so we need a candidate that has been well marketed, that is very prepared, that has traveled the journey before, that understands the pitfalls, the potholes, where to run, where to jog, where to walk, that has a better appreciation of the situation now than to try and hazard a new candidate who is now coming to learn the ropes of the job. That is my view. And I think that of all the people who are running these elections, Dr. Bawumia is best prepared, is the most formidable, and is the winnable of all the candidates. That means that we could hazard any other person, but the one that gives us the greatest chance and minimizes the risk is Dr. Bawumia. And this is founded on electoral history, electoral trend, electoral records. That if I have gone into an election and I have close to 42% of the voters voting for me, I can confidently say without debate that I have some 42% of the country who believe in me. What it means is that I have some 9%, that could be engineer, Nana, our friends here, that I have to convince to come and join me. So this 9%, how do I get it going? Another person can also debate and say that, well, I think I can do it. I can make it. I can get there. Maybe true, but that risk is higher because you haven't gone to the people before. You could get 80%, you could get 70%, but you could also get 20, you could get 30, you could get 40. So between you and the one that has done it before and we can actually measure, I think that it is easier to pick on that person and say, okay, let's hold on to your 41.7% and let's go after the 9% that is left. And that's the sort of conversation that we're having. And this is also not just something that we are assuming, it is something that is backed by data. That in this country, except for President Mahama, that actually ran 2012 elections as a certain president and won, we've never had a candidate go for the first time to win an election. It's just history, it's just precedent, it's just an electoral trend. Politics is science, and politics is also sociology. So if the society and the sociology of the country is telling you that, well, we would want to hear this person multiple times before we give him a test, and they've done it with several candidates, then we need to give them that hearing and told that way. And that is why we feel that, okay, all of you are good, you could do it, but the one that gives us the biggest chance and opportunity is Dr. Bawumia.
But this same person has been heard from since when? Is it 2008? And he had finally had the opportunity to contest in 2024, and yet suffered one of the biggest defeats in our history.
I have been heard, Hamza has been heard, all the people who are running, we've all been heard. So long as you are in politics, you are heard. That is why we can pick each of the candidates and give a profile of what their philosophies are, what their principles are. That is what it is. But I have never run for president. You understand? He has never run for president until 2024. Now, you see, the point is not about winning or losing by the biggest margin. In 2016, as of 2016, President Mahama's loss was the biggest loss this country has ever seen. And you recollect that in 2017, the whole year, the mantra was NDC Egu. NDC Egu. In fact, some prophets started giving prophecy about how Mahama is finished. And that God has decided that there is no way Mahama can ever lead this country. There's blood on his hands. Who would have imagined?
Yeah.
Even as at 2020, who would have imagined that President Mahama, that lost an election by close to 1 million votes, never seen before in this country, would come back to become president? Nobody. And you see, again, Mahama's comeback is a confirmation or a validation of the electoral trend that in this country, if you go and you speak to the people and you don't give up and you are consistent and you stick true to yourself, they are likely to listen. They are likely to listen to you than a first timer. That is why when President Kufuor went for the first time against former President Rawlings, he lost. When Professor Mills came against President Kufuor in 2004 for the first time, Professor Mills also lost for his first contest. Then Professor Mills came in 2008 as his second term. Then another was coming for his first and another lost. Then another came for his second time. He lost against President Mahama, who was an acting president. Then another one on his third term as a flag bearer in 2016. Then John Mahama, His Excellency, came back again in 2020, lost before he won again in 2024. So unless you want to ignore the data, unless you want to ignore the facts, unless you want to take a big risk guess game amongst all the candidates, it is clear that all of you could do what it is that you say you want to do. But if we are going to run by the numbers, run by the data, then the one that gives us the best chance, you could all give us a chance, but the one that gives us the best chance and gives us our fastest path to winning 2028 is Dr. Mahmudia Bawumia, because he went into 2024 elections, lost, but he's holding a certain percentage of votes, 41.7% of votes, which that we can attest to and validate that he has it. What we know he doesn't have is 8%. You have 0 because you haven't gone to be tested before. You are saying you can do it, but you could also go and also do less than that. How do we throw away a 41.7% vote and go hazard a 0% vote? It's a difficult, logic to learn by.
Onye hero ni biom sanse ene ebra wo ba no ahye black obi be pie mu e wo court no hu se ene black ne finity ko se ne nan so ahye nose mask cry tuntum na ebra owura court dem mo ewura adaka mu pe eno yi nose mask mu tunche no ene hu na ni na hu se abrante no we dey yes boga oye loose kakra boga oye loose pa we dey ne kakra boga oye loose na no ena eye prosecutor se me kura no e sorry ka che court dey say one of the court make us on the ruling on the bill application so on the our claim and then a lawyer for bear and 9 and the buyer Honorable Andy Apia Kubi and a lead a counselor on an order a lawyer for 9 in ano. There no one for Justice Samuel Bright Aqua Emani bill any on your bill no 100,000 Ghana cedis 100,000 Ghana cedis and which onfa enipa mienu se echigina for enipa mienu no nyina esa omoye civil servant enipa mienu no omoye civil servant esa se baako bosome one jacket yakura oje 5,000 enu echi esa se owo good standing in finsianso enti so nipa baako pe na oba be standing surety a esa se nisika bosome akatua eye 5,000 esa se finsian mako nso a waye adwuma no onya abayama nie biada oni criminal record biada oni obi enya asema mayedna akokota na ka say e bia kodemu brother good standing for 7 solid years otemwa fona no sia pe no se de bia ka ba ko mamenkanka ho na wotwi bia onfa ne ho enko kire investigator wono ene wo SI a special investigation unit eno ewo police headquarters CID unit onfa ne ho enko kire otemwa fona no sia pe so obema date pe na lawyer Andy Apia could be sorry then so otemwa for kromo a wan na ye dwuma pa o ye civil servant oji 5,000 we dey yes sedel to so mayen enye sa dey na ente nyinam ase bill no wan mayen enye omo ne kan otemwa fona say dey mo dey mo nko mo be miti o se mo dey mo mie dan na kran ra bonte o that's am one penny for bebre o we on be ye omo kaya otemwa for just Samuel Bright akwa chese dey ono de waka no eno a lawyer for bi a na ti court dem okra sorry head o ma no tumu esre say ebe ya kotimwafo ne nti so ebra 3000 o ma kra kan say anka 3,000 dear, okay, 10,000 100,000 almost so. Then a public servant and as a civil servant, any law not less than 5,000 a year. And Kaja, Yentis of Family, but in one point said Debbie or the hour. No, na ye be we cry, not in one for a catcher, lawyer and the appear could be say. Catcher a branch, no, Jina that can or Casado, on Cananuntu. No, what about court near my bill now? Was I'm a hero. What about court? I remember crowds, I'm a hero, or the Kokobo. I'm a lawyer and say on can the client and say on can non to na casa de Bruno a idea emwa. Minia and to besire and they Yama Ura Kwachi bill 100,000 Ghana cedis with 2 sureties to be civil servant Bako de as I say Bosumi Biano or 5,000 Ghana cedis. Now any lawyer Afuaqua aging como and watch it you say a chance some.
Yo, I'm a lawyer crab babano. Kachi and him say ono de oso obo nka ya busu abeka se obo nton ma MPP wo ba no ye hu panifo bi te se da ye dikan chama wuntumi ene atitre bebredi na chi no ene nso na omo ka ho ana
me da se pa ene chama wuntumi an betiem meka se from the very first day no ba no petitu to be tie abrante ye chia if you ontini emebiem ene Mustafa Salam ebaye Moses Abo ebaye ena empenifo ahoro te se lawyer and the appear could be and a party supporters fancy committee any year almost so another case with different courts any party supporters need them the benefit by the next like I say Moses Abo and Saranso and Mustafa Salam and a buyer and a branch about could be Mibisa and the say Otonyo pa Edema MPP Amanyuko a branch Kokobi then 10 dia na odi acheba nti echama wuntumi ankasa de wentimi amase the first time obaye na nabi ba empenifo we no ma ene empenifo edi acheba ene
yentie lawyer Afuaqye.
The accused person Emmanuel Patiasai has been granted bail by the Circuit Court 9 is Anna Samuel Abba with a sum of 100,000 Ghana cedis. 2 sureties, both should be public servants, and one should be earning not less than 5,000 Ghana cedis. So these are the conditions set by the court. We pray that his liberty has finally been restored by the court of the Republic. And we humbly pray that in as much as we are in court, we are all asking that due process be continued. And the will of justice, we know, grinds slowly. By the end of the day, the justice will ensure that fair justice is met. He has pleaded not guilty to the 1 count of offense that he has been charged with, and is ready to appear to stand trial if the prosecution is minded to proceed on the same charge and the same set of facts as has been filed at the registry of the courts.
Tuwei lawyer Afuaqye ono na gina mu ema fi oseke Acheampong aka Amehiro ena yeti se wo church